Well, it certainly is all about love. Whenever you seek to do anything for anybody, doing it for the Lord, doing it for your neighbor, doing it for your friends, your family, or yourself, remember that it's all about love. That's where we get our rewards from. It's all about love. He says, a new commandment I have given thee, to love ye one another. And of course, the one that we know, thou shalt love the Lord thy God with all thy heart, soul, and mind, and thy neighbor as thyself. So we also realize that love is not as plentiful as it used to be. It's not flowing around our families. It's not flowing around our communities. It's not even flowing around in some of our churches. Oh my God. So what can we do? We have to seek love by knowing what love is, knowing the attributes of love. What does love act like? What does love look like? What does it sound like? There is a love language. There's a love flow. And we need to know what it is because there is a shortage, I'm telling you. In the word, it also tells us that the love of many shall wax cold. People have been through so much hurt, so much pain, and so much trauma, and so much what we call a dysfunction that their love has gotten cold. They don't love like they used to do. They don't smile like they used to. So that means we have to exhibit love. We have to exhibit it in our songs. We have to exhibit it on our television shows. We have to exhibit love everywhere we go. It's very, very important. So welcome to another round, another season of the Wednesdays Woman Show, Wednesdays Woman Knows, a Flow City production, where we seek to bring you information that will help you be more resourceful in your own home, in your own surroundings, in your own family, in your own community, by using your gifts and your talents and allowing others to flow in their gifts and talents. So we give this platform here on the Morris Media Network, and this is how we get the message out to you, and you all around the world. Yes, this new thing, internet TV, it used to be cable. I loved cable. And I'm learning to love the internet. So the thing is, we want to hear from you as well. We have some guests that have already started chiming in. Thank you very much. And then others will probably come in later. And this will continue. This platform will continue throughout the summer. And we'll be able to cover a lot of ground, get a lot of information out, resourceful information, and also information on how you can get some resources. Is that all right? All right, so what we have first is our introduction of our first guest, Mr. Melvin White, and he hails all the way from Texas. I want to say Austin, but it could be Houston, but I think it's Austin. So Mr. White, how are you?
I'm wonderful. Thank you, Crystal, for having me. It was a great introduction of the music and your expressions, but I'm doing wonderful.
Thank you. Thank you so very much. And you're very welcome to be here. I've been communicating with you via the telephone, and we have had some wonderful conversations. And I want to thank Mr. Bennett for introducing us, because that's how we flow. We let it be known how we came to be in this connection. So Mr. Bennett has been a part of our shows for about 3 years. So we have some wonderful files on him giving that same message, collective impact, working together, the backbone, and all of this collective works. So Melvin White, tell us, is it Austin, Texas?
It is Austin.
That's the capital.
Capital.
Now we also have Brother Rodney Allen Rippey. And I know him from being a child television commercial star on that Jack in the Box, that famous Jack in the Box commercial. See, if y'all not old enough, you might not remember that. But see, I'll be 62 this year. And he used to say, what you got? And he said, it's too big to eat. That's the part I remember. So welcome, Rodney Allen Rippey. How are you?
I'm blessed. Wonderful to be here, Morris Media. And it is just wonderful. Great being on with Melvin. And yes, we are part of that collective impact of working with Mr. Gerald Bennett and Julian Mars And there is a huge collective of people coast to coast. Here on the West Coast, we got a great group called the Hidden Pioneers. And this is really all about the group that we're putting together out of Richmond. And it really is about bringing a collective of people together that are all focused on STEAM education, science, technology, engineering, the arts, and math. And we got some great relationships and great people, and we're just happy to be here.
Excellent, excellent. Well, thank you very much for accepting the invitation to be here. And I just wanted to say I reconnected with Rodney, I think it was last year around this time in May. We hosted Mr. Bennett here in Los Angeles, California, at one of our the partners that we worked with. And he was there invited. So it was like, oh yeah, we know you. And so it's all good here connecting. And that's one of our mottos. We've got to connect to collect. And I want to let you know where that came from. That came from the Spirit of the Most High Yah speaking to me in 2005. He said, you've got to connect to collect. So, and the main thing is connecting to the power of the Most High Yah, having that relationship with our Almighty God. Now, we've got my sister friend all the way from Henry Clay Junior High School back in the 70s on the line. Miss LaWanda Staten, I see, yeah, she's unmuted. How you doing, LaWanda?
Hey, Crystal. Hey, everyone.
Hello.
Wait a minute. I'm trying to unmute my, come on, it's not, oh, okay, there we go. Hello, everyone.
Good afternoon.
Hey there. So LaWanda, tell us about where you are. Tell us where you are.
I have a picture.
You're in Los Angeles.
Okay, I'm in Gardena, California. I'm the commissioner for the Human Service department with the city of Gardena. But I just wanted to say I have a picture of Rodney and I when I first moved back to California from Texas. We were at a chamber event that was downtown in one of the big halls. I don't know if you remember that. Yeah.
Yes, I do.
Excellent, excellent.
Yeah, it was
See how the connection
nice
comes.
event.
We're connecting,
Yeah.
and this is our whole desire to connect across America. I remember they had a program some years ago called Hands Across America. So we're connecting our resources, our information, our businesses, our organizations, everything that we know that is working in our communities for the underserved. We're connecting them all across America. Now I want to start with Mr. Melvin White. Melvin, tell us about what you do and how long you've been doing it. And we'll go into some questions after that.
Okay, well, we started a program in 1999, and our whole purpose and goal was to empower people. So when I say empower people, it's essentially empowering families. Children are empowered by their parents. So we created a workforce development programs that does three things. It's community development, economic development, and human development. And what we try to do is to see how we are able to provide skills to people in various areas, whether it's in construction, trades, technology, logistics, various areas. We created a model that provide vocational skills. But what's most important of what we do is we help develop the entire person. So we realize people should get a skill set, but some people have barriers in other areas. So we have to do the human development piece before we start doing the job training piece. So we've been doing this for 25 years, and that's why I'm really excited about the whole collective impact area. But that's in a high end or a short view of who we are and what we do.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. Now, when they talk about the word scalable came to my mind, but in the spectrum of us reaching out across America, how is your program reaching out into other cities and other states?
So two ways. Before I met Gerald, what we have done, we've expanded our program into West Africa, We've done this program in other parts of the East Coast, but how we do it, we're scalability is we work with various governments in the process of being able to we really go into underserved communities. And that's specifically what we do, and how we expand our brand as we go into these communities with the stakeholders and the government, local leadership, and to be able to try to address what problems that they may be having in areas of underserved populations. So that's how we expand. It's really based on a referral and networking with other organizations that's doing similar work to what we do.
Awesome, awesome. Well, here in California, we do have, and particularly Los Angeles, we do have several gentlemen that I know personally that are doing reentry, the job creation as well. And that's Brad Carson and Mr. Terrell Tillman. And those two gentlemen, I do desire to connect you to them so your works can become, together, and see how you guys can calendarize some things and be a part of different workshops and presentations. Maybe you can come here to California, maybe they can come there to Austin. And then I know Mr. Bennett has been seeking for us to come to Virginia and the Richmond area. So we are, really putting this thing together, and we got to do it quickly because time is really like moving, it's excelling. And like I was sharing in one of the emails, we're expecting thousands, about 6,000 to 7,000 prisoners will be coming back into the community this summer. And even the youth, they're closing down, the detention centers and the youth camps and things of that nature. So our programs need to link up and sync so we can, catch them so nobody falls through the cracks and things. Okay, so you ready for that?
Yeah. So just if you would allow me, I didn't say anything about other ways that we get our message out. And that has been through this collective impact area through HUD STEM Innovation Networks, to where there are HUD housing facilities all over the United States. And they're typically strategically placed, not strategically, but they're typically in areas that are either red line or where there's a significant disinvestment of the community, whether it be in capital or whatever the case may be. But this HUD STEM Innovation Network is allowing us to expand and scale our brand. And it's not our intent to supplant any great organization in different areas, but to support it and to grow it and to add to it to where we are able to bring a collective impact into areas that may could stand or use some additional infrastructure and other ideas. But that's the other way we expand what we do. And I'm excited about being on board with this HUD STEM Innovation Network to be able to work with families.
Absolutely, absolutely. So I'm going to say this. I'm at the house with my grandchildren. So if you hear a little screaming baby, that's my little 1-year-old, 1.5, almost 2 years old grandson upstairs playing with his sister. So now, Rodney, I wanted you to speak also on that HUD STEM Innovation Network, because I know you have visited Richmond, Virginia for last year's event, and you are very aware of what's happening. So please give a little more information as to what Mr. White was talking about. Okay, you're muted.
Hold on, I'm unmuted. There we go. Sorry about that.
Well, okay.
Crystal, it was a great honor to go back to Richmond, Virginia, spend time with Mr. Julian Marsh, who's the executive director of Infinity Systems Network. That's going to be the parent company out of Richmond, where we are going to be aligning a lot of the affiliates and other wonderful programs there based out of Richmond. There are going to be people in Richmond. There's, of course, Melvin there in Texas. And we have people, matter of fact, just had a wonderful call with Dr. McKellar. She is actually, vice mayor of Tyler, Texas. She is huge in STEM there in Tyler, Texas. And so we're starting to plug the pieces together. We have people in everything from the metaverse to cryptocurrency and the things that really get young people excited, because these are emerging career paths. And then also there was a young man who is into cybersecurity. And so these are the type of job opportunities that many young people don't know about, even with when it comes down to things like NASA and transportation and technology. My colleague out here, Bill Montgomery, he's a cousin of the great Katherine Johnson. And a lot of young people don't know you only need a 3.0 or you say a 3.0 GPA to get into an internship with NASA. And so there are so many things that are happening. And so Infinity Systems Network will be part of the Juneteenth event that's going to be taking place there in the Richmond, Virginia area. We are planning to have a STEM corner at this event. So there's the Parks and Rec are handling things, kind of getting things set up. But of course, we want to be able to make sure that that STEM corner has so many different activations where young people can literally touch, feel, see, and have an opportunity to experience STEAM education at its best, and hopefully direct them in a pathway so that they can kind of get excited, get their hands busy, and really set a pathway to a real sustainable career. And we are bringing equity in STEM education. And again, as Mr. White has said, we're going in at the housing authority levels. We want the youth to have this experience. We want the parents of these children to understand what's happening. And so we're looking at how we can impact the young people, the parents, and build out as we go from one housing authority, from one city to the next and to the next, so that there is complete equity coast to coast. And again, that is going to go back to HUD STEM Innovation Networks, and hopefully we'll be able to get the federal support to keep the programs active for many, many years to come.
Excellent, excellent. Now, Commissioner Staton, I wanted to talk to you because you are active in the city of Gardena, a city within the county of Los Angeles.
Wow.
And the programs that you have, Ms. LaWanda Staton, that have been very successful in that area is that one that we did in March about love is in need of love. And that's a key thing that I opened up with, talking about the importance of love. You know, these children need love. These families need love. Technology does not give love. It doesn't really give emotional, you know, structure. It just gives what it gives. So our human capacity, our human interaction is very needed. And so you as a human resource person there, what do you see as a key thing playing into what's happening? He mentioned Parks and Recreation. So where do you see, you know, what you do fitting into this arena of reaching out?
Well, you know, with the Human Service Department, what we basically we try to get people off. We try to get people off the streets. As you know, Gardena is one of the few cities that don't have homeless, a lot of homeless people there, because we are very proactive in getting them off the street. Something that I see that's missing that we need is to start, like you said earlier, Crystal, is to start with the family. We have a lot of young mothers who are out here and they don't know how to raise children. And if you can get them, you can get these girls. We have a program in Texas called I can't even remember it when I was in Texas, but it was to get these young girls who are at risk before they, you know, get caught up into the system or went out and started having babies and all. And I feel that's where everything starts from, that you gotta start with that family. And it has to start with the women, you know, like we were just talking about the incident that happened in Texas the other day with the little white boy with the whip. That came from family, that came from home. I don't know if you heard about the story, you know, how he went up to a black person's house, one and with the whip. And I'm pretty sure, Melvin, you've heard of it. and and all that starts in the home. And even with our black kids, you know, I see so many of our black children, they're being raised by these teenage mothers who have no idea of how to raise these kids. And so these kids are out of control. The mothers are out of control. Case in point, my brother and his wife in their mid-50s, you know, professionals, they now had to take in their grandchildren because the mother doesn't know how to be a parent, and she doesn't want to be a parent, you know. So you get a lot of these grandparents who are raising kids. And just for me, I think that we have to first get to the root of the problem. And the root of the problem that I see is the family. You have to, you know, there are organizations that I even worked for when I was in Texas, because I used to go down to the Texas, what is that, Melvin, in Austin, the capital. And I used to speak about that for the city when I was living in Arlington, Texas, about, you know, that was our problem. And we did have a task force where we did start helping young mothers and young women who were at risk. So that, I mean, I don't know if that's part of what your guys are doing, Melvin and Rodney, but that's where I feel that to get to the root of the problem, that's where you have to start.
Well, I think Melvin is ready to jump in on that. Unmute yourself, Melvin.
Yeah, you're right on point. And Wanda, I actually alluded to that early on in the conversation. And children are like sponges, and they're going to adapt to someone. They got to listen to someone. So to your point about parents not really knowing how to work with their children, there's kind of another concept that we are putting in place called the family ecosystem, where we're dealing with 0 to 5, because that's where children are really establishing their whole learning capacity. So if we're missing that particular age and kids go into the system, they automatically know. And here in Texas, some of the legislatures were saying that they determine how many prisons are going to be built based on the aptitude of kids at the age 3. So children have to be able to be empowered by their parents, but I realize that parents have to figure out, how am I going to raise my children? How am I going to provide food for them? So essentially, we have to find and provide hope to those parents, but it starts with understanding, meeting people where they are. That's what I like to say. And you're right in that it does family, but there are different aspects of family. You mentioned grandparents. There are many grandparents that are raising their children's children now. So you have to be really creative and innovative in that process. So it's a great need for programs like what we're doing at every level, from 0 to 5 to kids in K through 12, as well as adult education. But we have to bring collective impact of people with specialties to address those things. But you're right on point in your comments, and we're eager to work in that space. We know that it's hard work, but if it was easy, I think everybody would be doing it. So that's why we're doing it, because we're called to do it.
That's excellent. And see, with Family Love Outreach Workshop Flow, that has been our work, my God, since the 70s when I was 12. And music, I find, is the key to linking everybody, because the grandmothers will come for the concert, the aunts and the uncles and the moms and the dads and the sisters, the brothers, the cousins, the whole neighborhood will come when there's a concert or a recital or presentation or talent show that is showing their beautiful little, you know, loved one on stage. So we're missing that element because the cotillion balls brought the little boy and the girl together, taught them how to do the minuet, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, how to curtsy and how to bow, how to pull the chair out, the etiquette of being a young lady or a young man. So those elements are missing. And then music classes that we had Glee Club. We were the girls' Glee Club, the boys' Glee Club, and we learned how to sing. We learned how to present and perform in front of crowds. We learned some things that gave us morals, gave our gifts and our creativity an opportunity to shine. So we were able to get dreams and visions of things. Now we basically see it all on TV, and it's not the good stuff that we're seeing on TV. So that means our music and our video and television presentations need to be healed and transformed. So the language that we are allowing to go out through technology needs to be more covered by us. People who have a heart, people who see where humanity is going and want to stop that and turn it around. We need to redirect a lot of things that are being pushed through social media. So by us doing this show and by us having our own podcasts and our own shows and our own communities, that's going to be real key. Kids want to be seen on TV. They want to, whether it's dancing or singing or acting or comedy or sports, whatever, they would like to see themselves. They want to sit back and say, that's me right there. That's me right there. And then as they grow up, that's something that's a part of their history. So we have to look at activating them in their gifts, their artistic, creative gifts, and their talents, because everybody is not technically savvy. They may want to, because I used to didn't want to be the producer of the show. I had to learn how to run the camera. I had to learn how to edit, but I didn't want to. I just wanted to be seen. I just wanted to sing. No, my God, I don't want to do all that other stuff. But the thing is, I now appreciate knowing how to edit, and I appreciate knowing how to set the camera up and produce other shows. So, we may not want it, but, sometimes we can't get out of it. So the strictness, the discipline, all those things that we had growing up is what we need to bring back. So parks and recreations, you mentioned, Rodney, that the parks and recreations there is basically helping to host the event in Richmond, the Juneteenth. So that's great, because our parks and recreations here, LA County Parks and Recreation, they're hosting something called Parks After Dark, Parks After Dark. And it's not just movies in the park. They're having people such as ourselves, resource providers, come into the park and be vendors. And so while the entertainment is going on, the food and everything else, we've got resources that are being provided to those that are there. So they have a schedule of various parks that they're going to be at, and that's a good thing. And I'm saying that our parks and recreations around the world needs to participate in something of that nature, because that's where it really starts, in the creative area, recreation. You're free. There are the trees, the grass. There's the basketball court, there's the tennis courts, it's just a freedom to run. And that stimulates your mind and your body. So maybe I will want to learn about robotics, So it's a very good need that we are fulfilling here. We're fulfilling a good need. And I just want everybody to continue to connect to each other. So I would love for you all to get Miss LaWanda Staten's, Commissioner LaWanda Staten's information. So I'll make sure I give everybody, you can give your information out now, what you want to have the people know so they can reach you. Those that will be watching, this is going out on YouTube, so they will be able to see it again. You'll be able to share it and let others know this is what we talked about on May 18th, 2022. And so we'll start with you, LaWanda, give your contact information.
I'll put it in the chat, Crystal.
You put in the chat, okay?
Wonderful.
And,
I'll put it in the chat that way.
Wonderful.
Okay. Well, you gonna put yours in the chat, Rodney?
Yes, ma'am, I will. And also I did want to add that the things that you're talking about, there are many young people who are also looking at not only just being in front of the camera, but they really and being involved in the entertainment industry since I was the age of 3.5. The real truth is a lot of people don't understand the real money and the real progress is not really being out in front of the camera. It's the machinery that's behind it. It is the camera, the lights, the sound, the production, there are so many things that turn so much more money than being, if they can pay an actor $20 million, the machine behind it is making 4 and 5 times that. So really, it's just like some people, young people say, well, I want to be a rapper. Well, you might want to be a producer. You might want to be a music distributor because, those are some things that beyond being a performer, you might want to understand the business and the mechanics behind entertainment.
That's one of the components. That's one of the components that we do offer, because it's very important to know the business of music and have a source of income other than your rap songs, because when you get a little older, your rapping is not going to be at the level and you're not going to be on the forefront of who's being promoted. So definitely you want to be in that production line, a distribution line, and having a label or promotions. That's right. Of that nature. So now I know, Mr. White, we were talking about music, the component of adding music and entertainment to what you all do and what you're doing there. So I definitely want to say, please, by all means, connect with us. I'm going to show a couple of PowerPoints to explain a little more about what we are doing and what we seek to do collectively, because it's no fun when you have something and you're pretty much alone with it, if you know what I mean. So you want to say something about that, Melvin?
Yeah, I was going to just say a couple of things. I learned from one of my mentors, is 3 things that bring people together. Those 3 things are music, sports, and education.
Wow.
That's right.
Because everybody can identify with that. And when you have a great message and you want to bring people together, because everybody wants that in some facet.
Yes.
And so that's very critical and crucial. And as we are building our program, everybody is at a different level in the community. So although you may have a great training program that teaches someone how to make millions in technology, you have to be respectful when you go in the communities, because everybody's at a different level. So you have to meet people where they are, and everybody has to be on their own path. But to be able to bring people together, I think music is a very keen way to do that in sports as well as education.
Absolutely. That's wonderful. Thank you. I
just wanted to jump in and say, I just got a phone call from someone from Operation Hope. That is John Hope Bryant. He's a very, very prominent person in the world of finance and has spent, I would probably say, close to 20 years on teaching entrepreneurial and financial literacy. And Operation Hope is still very much active. And I just got a call from one of his colleagues. I had reached out to him, and I knew John Hope Bryant. I've met him several times. Very dynamic, known all around the country. And they were saying that they're going to put me back in contact with him because he's traveling, of course. But the whole key thing is bringing financial literacy in, because a lot of times people can have millions of dollars, but if they don't know how to manage it, if they don't know how to make it roll over, if they don't know how to live tax-free, if they don't know how to set themselves up for retirement down the road, because those are the type of key things. And young people can even enter into the financial industry, no college degree, and make 7 figures for themselves just helping manage money and manage people and learn about that too as well.
Our young people today, they know how to flip it, baby. They know how to take 1,000 and flip it. Okay. So
Yeah.
don't count them out. Now, I
Oh,
wanna
no,
say this
they
too.
do, but they need to know how to save
Oh,
it
of
and
course,
make that
of
money
course. Now, I
work.
wanna-
Yes, ma'am.
I want to say that on John Bryant. Now, I was a part of Operation Hope when they
Mhm.
started their partnership with Jackson Hewitt. I was one of the first tax
Mhm.
preparers that worked there in 97, 98, I
Mhm.
believe,
Yes.
on the La Brea Boulevard, La Brea
Yep.
Avenue area. So I'm a former employee, so definitely thank you for bringing him up. Mr. Bennett and I had shared conversations about him as well. And we
Mhm.
also have a financial person that teaches entrepreneurial through the SBA, and he does his own private entrepreneurial teaching, Mr. Anthony D. Williams, and he's retired Navy, and he's also a LA chapter of the National Association of Black Veterans. So
Mhm.
I always forget to send him the email because I don't have his email in my
Mhm.
contacts. But we have spoken many times, and throughout the years we've been friends. So that's who we met, LaWanda, over at the restaurant that we were in
I
Westchester.
thought that was him, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So he has already said he's available to teach entrepreneurialism, and that's what he does. So we do have that component as well as what we do here. Now, LaWanda, I wanted to talk about that entertainment portion that Rodney was talking about,
Mhm.
because that's what we did March the 20th there at the park,
Mhm.
Raleigh Park in Gardena. It was a fabulous entertainment, Loves in Need of Love. So she has a lot of connections. You want to just kind of name some of the people so they'll know we have access to these people to do a workshop for us?
Let's see, who did we have? We had Don Wyatt, who he was music director for Anita Baker for years, and the Temptations. He just left the Temptations. We had Paul Jackson Jr., who's
Mhm.
won several Grammys for, he's a guitarist.
Mhm.
We had Kevin O'Neill. I don't really know if you guys remember the group, the Bus Boys from Eddie Murphy, 48 Hours. We
Mhm.
had Kevin O'Neill. We had Crystal. We had Ashley, who's really been coming up and coming in the gospel community.
Mhm.
We had a Hispanic church that was really good. They were really great. Their band. Who else did we have? Oh, your friend Vaughn. What's her name, Crystal?
Oh, Adie Vaughn, yes.
Lady
Her
Vaughn,
list,
yeah.
her list of credits
Right.
is long. So yeah, we've got a very good component for entertainment. So I would say let's look at our calendars and put
Mhm.
together
And
some
Crystal, I
workshops.
didn't let you know the city of Gardena is trying to see about doing that yearly. They thought it was so great that they want to do it yearly and start and get sponsors just like the Gardena Jazz Festival.
Excellent.
That's how they want to make it big, they said.
It was
Mhm.
quite powerful. It was very powerful. And she mentioned Paul, those were a lot of our schoolmates. We went to elementary and junior high school with Paul Jackson, and then Kevin O'Neill, he was there at Gardena High, the Mohicans. And so it was very good. It was such a good what do you call it? A reunion. It was like a
Yeah.
reunion. I saw my junior high school friends that I hadn't seen since junior high school. It was like, oh my God. So that is what we need for our people that are dealing with so much trauma.
Right.
They need a reunion of their childhood when it was fun. You know what I mean? Throwing the basketball or the football or whatever we're doing, and the band is over there and a choir. We need a choir.
Mhm.
We need the choir. The choir. We need the choir. So, for those of you who can sing a little bit, whether it's
There
the
you go.
shower singer or
That
the
wouldn't
street
be
corner
me, Crystal.
symphony, we
That wouldn't
need
be
you.
me. That wouldn't be me. I would be a cheerleader, not a singer.
You'll be the cheerleader. we need a drum. I said a drum, a bugle chorus. We need the cheerleaders, the marching band. We want all that. You remember that in high school? That stuff was fun.
Yeah.
In our colleges, our HBCUs, we need to be on their porch saying, hey, we need you guys to come and teach our young people. Come to the parks. Bring those trombones and those saxophones. So, LaRon, I know one of those one of those PowerPoints, I think I want the one that says $1 Million March. Don't be afraid. $1 Million March is a concept that actually, okay, go ahead. So it says a worldwide sales campaign to increase the wealth of the underserved. And it's a concept that gives us the ability to physically march like we do in church and put the money in the offering plate, you know, or just show us marching, putting the money in the basket. What are we doing? It's an opportunity to show us marching to give that money. I'm excited. I'm cheerful. I don't care if it's $1, and I'm going to give my $1 because it's going to go toward helping the underserved and be able to do some things. Let's go to the next one. Will it? Okay. So it's branding the brand. So we provide workshops, and we are Flow City. We provide workshops and platforms to become self-sufficient by being your own brand. People are so talented. They're so, you know, intellectually charged with knowledge and visions and desires that we want to help them bring that out and be able to package it. So all of our facilitators will have a chance to work with them regarding what they really love to do and help them be the best them they can be. And that's for the family, that enhances the community and everybody around them. Okay, next slide, please. Growing through creative expression. Spotlight is on the creative artists, the singers, the musicians, the producers, the writers, the motivational speakers, the family business owners, and the entrepreneurs. Speak, act, do your thing, sell your art, gifts, and talents during $1 Million March. So it becomes about you, your gifts, your ideas, your intellectual property, the who, what, when, where, why, and how of you. That's what $1 Million March is. But collectively, you may not make $1 million all by yourself, but 10,000 over here, 20,000 over there, 50,000 over there, but we're working collectively. So by the time we say, okay, ding, 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 bells up, it's time to stop, count it all up, what do we get? We got $10 million collectively. Some went there, some went there, some went there. You're in charge of what you make, you're in charge of what you make, so it won't be no hassle. Well, we made 5,000 more than that, and where is it? No, you got your money coming into your own account because all we're doing is providing a platform and providing the information on how to package yourself, how to sell it, and then you're collecting your own dollars, but you're giving a report. We're making a report. Well, how much? Oh my God, we're just. So we're challenging each other as well as challenging ourselves to get out and do something for us. And then it becomes that opportunity. Now you can give back to the community that helped to serve you in this, okay? So next slide, please. Flow business partners and facilitators. So this is who we've been working with for, oh my God, a few years here. Nichelle Go to Work Farrell. She's an author, acting coach, and an educator, 20 plus years in teaching. She's teaching right now, and that school is not out yet. If school's out, then she's not teaching. But she is a 20 plus year educator. She's also the educational director for the Universal Hip Hop Museum under Mr. Curtis Blow. And she has very good connections in the community. She's a video producer, and she's always, you just Google Go to Work, Nichelle Go to Work, and you'll see all of her things that she's doing online. And then of course, Mr. Brad Carson, our probation officer. He's one of the top of the line probation officers here, very well known in LA. And he's the founder of Jobs Create Peace and what else? PV Jobs. So let's see, we have George Tillis, who is a retired probation officer and a community advocate. He's seeking to do some work in that area of community advising because of his work with probation, working with the youth and the youth detention camps and things of that nature. And we have Mr. Anthony D. Williams, of course, Navy veteran, entrepreneur trainer. And we have Ms. Catherine Myers. She's the president of the Women's Professional Network, and she's a tag team marketer with the Buy Black movement. Woo, woo. So she's a part of our facilitators and partnerships. Then we have the one and only Mr. Fred Shaw Jr. This brother, I tell him, he's a powerhouse. Now,
Wow.
I've known Fred, he's actually a part of my family on my children's daddy's side. But Fred Shaw, his mom, Marcine Shaw, was the deputy director years ago for Kenneth Hahn. She's also Army veteran, and she was a councilwoman in the city of Compton. She passed in 2006. But Fred and his sister, they have basically followed in their parents' footsteps because the parents also had group homes back in the day. And I think Tookie Williams, y'all remember Tookie? Stanley Williams, one of the leaders,
Yeah.
the leader of the Crips, was a part of their group home. So
Wow.
they have had their hands in community for many, many years. So Fred is following in that footsteps of the parents, and he's the president of the NAACP Inglewood South Bay division. And I call him a worldwide liaison. He's, I think he's a prince in Africa. They made one of those tribes, made him a prince some years ago. So he's traveling. He was just in DC for the Black Mayors Council Association and things. So he speaks very well, and he's very astute in education. I'll call him on anything, and he'll go into it. So Fred Shaw Jr. Then we have Terrell Tillman, and Terrell will tell you he's formerly incarcerated for 19 years. And while he was there, he wrote his own curriculum for reentry because he saw what was needed. So he is a reentry organizer, and he's also a community protection liaison here in the city of Los Angeles. And he is a fireball. I met him during the time when Assemblyman Mike Gibson had the gun control, gang control conference at Cal State Dominguez Hills. So very good presenter, and he's very involved in what's happening out there in the community. And then we have Mr. Harold Brown. He's a television and film producer and a director, and so he trains in that. And then he's a music and video TV producer. And then we have Coach Rob Silver. He's a personal energy coach. I call it personal energy coach. Qigong is what they actually title it, but it's your personal energy that you have. He teaches you how to control through your breathing and your meditation, and how to be strong and all that good stuff. And he's also a music and video producer. So these are some of the people I've been working with over the years, hosting various times with them on my shows and things. So we'll have access to these people, and they'll also be coming on as guests soon. So go to the next slide, please. Flow needs independent contractors. Y'all know what that is, right? Sales and promotions managers. Ooh, I see a little typo there. Sales and promotions managers, family, youth, and adult team managers, administration managers, and outreach managers. So you can kind of see for yourself what that fits. If you got sales and promotion skills, we need you to manage. And so when we reach out to get people who want to sell, or they need to know how to sell, you'll be over them. And the family, youth, and adults, when they have their own little gatherings and their little meetings and things, you'll be over them as a manager. The administration, how are we doing things? Are we making sure we're meeting our marks and our goals, filing all our papers, doing what we need to do? That person. And then outreach manager, when we go out, reaching out to various organizations, communities, people, and everything, they keep track of that. So we need that. Next slide, please. Selling branded products and services. So the goal, make $1 million plus to increase artist and family income and provide housing and transportation. So that's part of the reason that we started $1 Million March, because we wanted to get housing and transportation for a lot of the homeless people that we were working with. I used to do homeless services downtown LA, and it was like, oh my God, and now it's even worse. Oh, Jesus, help us, Lord. So 5 ways to make $1 million. Just only 5 ways that we came up with. And I'm sure there's plenty more. One, we said, I need my glasses, don't I? Sell 1,000 radio and television advertisement packages at $1,000 each. That's $1 million. So if we got a group of people selling advertisement for radio and television, and they're selling at least $1,000 package, you know what I'm saying? We probably have to cut a few dollars and give it here, but without cutting anything, that's $1 million. You understand? And then if you sell 2,000 1-year VIP show passes at $500, that's another $1 million. And then you sell 200 1-year print advertising packages at 5,000 each. That's another million. If you sell 40,000 branded items at $25 each, $1 million. And then 50,000 digital music downloads at is that $20? Yes, $20 each. There you go with another one. So, and if you did 20% of each of those products, you would still get that $1 million. So the point is, we can use things like this, or we can use things that you may suggest, things that you suggest, things that you suggest. Whatever we can do. I'm from the church. You know, we get up there and the pastor, praise the Lord, saints, we want to raise $1 million today. And our goal is to get some housing and some transportation for our underserved people. So what I need y'all to do, dig deep, praise the Lord. I need you to write that $5,000 check, sister. And brother, you know you can do 10. I need it right now. Right now, Jesus is coming soon. You don't want to miss it. So get that 10,000. You know, you gotta, you know, perform in your place. But we know that's how the church folk do it. I've been there 50, 60 years. My dad used to get up. I'm gonna start this off and off with $300. They'd be like, "Whoa, Lord!" And see, generally you start off with the big money, so everybody else try to either follow it, match it, or they just say, "Well, I ain't got over here," you know. But I saw them do it. It was fun to me. But the point is, we got to get it, and we got to get it quick, because while we're talking, someone is being evicted. While we're talking, someone is losing their life or they're being robbed. Something is going on because somebody's hungry.
Yeah.
And they don't know what to do but go knock that person in the head and grab their bag. You understand? So we got a lot of dynamics happening while we're communicating on what we're going to do. They figure out what they're going to do. Look, I'm finna go take it. I'm finna jack this person. I'm finna go pull a lick. I'm finna go. Okay, right. I know all about that. So we got to be able to catch it quickly. And I told them in the program, oh, our time is up. So go to the next slide, okay? So action, reach them, teach them, and produce them. You understand? We got to reach them, teach them, and then produce them. And then you can present something. So now I really can't see that. But anyway, let's see. Monday is say, pray, meditate, speak words of faith. And then on Tuesday, get your family, oh Lord, business right. I should have had it in my own little container here. And then on Wednesday, connect with 50 women. But anyway, look, this is available. Y'all look at it when you get time. But this is how we seek to do a daily walk it out process to reach the people that we need to reach, knocking on doors, making phone calls, because sometimes they won't come out. They won't come to what you got. They'll see you from afar, be like, oh, what they doing? Oh, okay. And keep on walking. So we need to be active with flyers and posters and put it on a mural, put it on the wall, what our change is about, what we want them to say, what we need them to do, and be consistent with it. So this is actually 25 days, which is 5 weeks. And then it can be continued throughout the rest of their life. And then they'll learn how to do it. And then they won't need us. They'll be doing it because we gave them a plan on how to do something for yourself and for your community and for your family. So that's my presentation. And I want to thank you all for your time and your attention, because it's been very valuable. And I do believe that we're reaching higher heights. We're going into deeper depths, and we're being able to uproot some things that have been so long as a stronghold in our communities. We're uprooting those things now and moving it out of the way, and we're replacing it with what is needed. So what we're doing is watering, and we've already been planting, but some more planting may need to happen and more watering. And then it says God will give the increase. So here we are. And without any further ado, I'm just going to let everybody give your closing remarks. You got 1 second.
I had a great time being on. Thank you so much. And again, we are Infinity Systems Networks out of Richmond, Virginia. We have a West Coast team here and the East Coast team, and we're hoping we all can collaborate. Thank you so much, Chris. A great presentation.
You're welcome, baby. Go ahead, Miss LaWanda.
I felt so too. And these are the things that we need to start doing instead of just talking. We have to be more proactive. That's my word, proactive.
Right on, baby.
Instead
That's
of
beautiful.
reactive.
Come on, Brother Melvin.
Crystal, thank you for the opportunity. You have a beautiful spirit, and I just want to see how I can support you and we can collaborate. And I would love to come and be a part of what you're doing on the West Coast.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you all very much. You've heard it.
Nice meeting everyone.
Thank you.
Well, definitely we'll be getting together again. So thank you all very much. Been tuned in to the Morris Media Network, Flow City, Crystal Davis Wells, the Wednesday's Woman Show, because Wednesday's Woman knows, baby. Y'all better understand that Wednesday's Woman, she knows what's going on. So thanks again. Peace and blessings, love, light, and honor. Glory to the Most High Yah. Peace.
Amen.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.